Whether it's 82 East, whether it's the Live Love Laugh Foundation, or whether it's my choice of films, all of these things somewhere are an extension of who I am.
After years of planning and research, actor, investor, entrepreneur and philanthropist Deepika Padukone launched 82 East, a self-care global brand, along with her fund manager and venture capitalist Jigar Shah in November 2022. As the D2C skincare brand completes 1 year of existence, we are joined by the co-founders who take us through how they plan to expand their R&D capacity, how the last year has been for the brand, and what's coming next. 82 East started with an aim to address the pain points of the consumer and by simplifying the process and educating them. So in the past 1 year, how have you managed to do that?
Well, I think we've managed to do that by being consistent because like you said, we identified a pain point, and that pain point was actually my pain point. I remember discussing with Jigar and saying, why does skincare have to be so complex? There are a lot of brands, we're aware of that, but also everyone talking about complex routines and complex ingredients, and I was that person who wanted beautiful glowing skin, but at the same time wanted it to be simple yet effective. And so that was one issue. The other issue was always having to choose between a brand or products that were based on Ayurveda versus brands that were based on science. So we took all of this together and I said, is there a way to put it all into one bottle? And that's how 82 East came about. In fact, I think in recent times we're also seeing other brands now talking about simplified skincare, and we're really happy about that.
But now we're seeing brands also getting into like 3-in-1 sort of, they're combining 3 steps in one bottle. So do you have any such plans of doing something like that?
Look, it's not as much about 3-in-1 or 2-in-1 as much as it's about making sure that the product is effective and that you're not compromising on the ingredients. And so we usually have a vision, the two of us, in terms of how we want to cater to our consumers based on different skin types, based on different weather conditions. So we have a broad idea. We then take that idea to our R&D team. They take a couple of months to sit and formulate different products based on we have our own R&D center in Bangalore. I think we've mentioned this earlier. Yeah. They come back to us. I'm the first guinea pig. I'm the first one who tries any product, anything that is out there in the market today. Rest assured, I have tried it on first. I give my feedback. And then it goes into clinical trials.
Okay, all right. And I think right now you're selling everything through your own website. So are you guys planning to be on other marketplaces or also have an offline presence?
Yeah, short answer is yes. But the long answer is that, look, this was a conscious call. I've said this before, that a business shouldn't exist just because there is a celebrity. A business should exist because there is a consumer pain point, right? And for us to achieve that and for us to even understand, so at the beginning as entrepreneurs, you always have a hypothesis. You think there is a certain pain point, you think you have a solution, but unless and until you actually take it to consumers who buy into your solution, you will never know, right? So year one for us has been just about validating some of our hypotheses. Is skincare truly complex? Is our solution of simplification, of cleanse, hydrate, protect truly working? Are our products truly working? Are some of the questions we had to answer in the initial sort of months. And we have that, and there is enough and more evidence, right? And happy to sort of double click a bit on that and share some information or data over there.
Great. And what's the customer repeat rate right now on the website?
Yeah, can I take that? Yeah. So when we started off, our customer repeat rates in the first sort of quarter was about 20%. That has now scaled up to 60%. So every month, 60% of the people who buy from our website are people who've bought with us before, right? That's a number I've not seen in my limited sort of consumer career, right? So not just that, some of our CSAT scores or a product rating on each and every of our product across hundreds of consumers who bought and sort of showed love towards that product is on average 4.3 or 4.4 on a scale of 5, right? So and I can even talk about some of our NPS scores at a brand level, which at the start was 54 when we launched.
Okay.
Within 6 months came to 60. And just last month or last to last month in September, it was 65. So that puts us in the league of some of the top global brands, not just in BPC, but even outside BPC, right?
Great. And what's the sales contribution from domestic market and international?
So, I mean, it depends, it changes from month to month, but the range is about 5 to 10%. Each month we ship to countries outside. We've already shipped to 50 plus countries outside India in the last 12 months. And we have capabilities to ship to about 150 countries, right? So, and also when I say this, there is a nuance of execution that goes in. It's not like a loose statement of saying just 150 countries, right? There are 3 layers of execution that goes into shipping something outside, right? The first and foremost, of course, the logistics, right? That's very intuitive. Second is custom clearance, right? And the third is, and most important, is an FDA or a regulatory sort of clearance, right? So you have to understand that across these different countries and then leverage technology to solve that at scale, right?
Okay. And Deepika, you wear multiple hats. So how was your experience building this brand ground up? I mean,
it's been extremely gratifying, but it's also been a lot of hard work. You know, and we keep saying this, that we launched last year, exactly a year ago, but we were working on this for almost 2 years or more before that to actually get everything up and running. But the work after we've launched has just been far more than I think any of us expected. But yeah, I mean, it all feels worth it. It's been extremely gratifying. I think when you see a vision come to life, when you see consumers embracing you know, the story that you're telling, because you're telling it not just with authenticity but also with consistency, and then to see the kind of consumer feedback for the brand, for the products, for how we engage with our community, I think all of it has been extremely gratifying. And I think so whenever we hit any kind of, you know, a speed breaker, it's that love and appreciation that kind of keeps us going. So yes, it's been a lot of work, but extremely gratifying.
so what kind of speed breakers?
You know, like he said, sometimes it's ingredients, sometimes it's packaging, sometimes it's logistics, sometimes it's just, you know, a factory deciding to shut down. I mean, there are all kinds of things that you know, you and with experience you're better prepared. Every month we're just getting better and better and better, but there'll always be that unexpected curveball that comes at you. And as a team, you know, you come together and decide how you want to tackle that situation the next time around. And I think that's the case with any startup, I would think. But that's what keeps you going. You know, how when you're faced with something, how do you come together? How do you overcome that obstacle? How do you move on? It's exciting and fun also at the same time, you know, to be able to problem solve.
Right. And talking a little bit about the funding, you guys raised a seed funding amount last year in December.
Yeah.
So are you guys planning to raise more money in the near term?
Yes, short answer is yes. We are doing an internal round right now, but I think 2024 is where we are roughly targeting to do our Series A.
Okay, and last year you also mentioned that you're planning to hit 100 crore revenue, annual revenue run rate in like 8 months. So have you reached that target, and
we are on
what's
course.
the current
We are on
run
course.
rate?
We are on course of the 100 crore ARR target.
Okay, great. And Deepika, you've invested in a lot of startups.
Yeah.
So are you planning to invest in more startups?
I think right now all of our energies are focused on 82 East.
Okay.
It's our little baby, and I think most of our energies are going there. Having said that, I think if we do come across an interesting and exciting opportunity, sure, I think we're always open. We're always open to that, but yes, I think all of our energies are focused on 82 East right now, and we're very happy with all of the other investments that we've made.
Okay, and like what are the top 3 criteria that you look at before investing in any startup?
I mean, he obviously looks at the business side of things, but for me, eventually, it's just a gut call. You know, it has to be an extension of who I am and what my beliefs are, and you know, I feel like you have to believe in the founders, co-founders. You have to believe in their vision. You have to feel that connect. and what they're selling for me has to be an extension of who I am. And I think beyond that, of course, from a business sense also it has to make sense. So I think we look at it through 2 or 3 different parameters, and if it's a tick, then we go ahead and then keep our fingers crossed.
Great. As co-founders, how do you complement each other?
There's something packaging related, or if there's something warehouse related, or if there's something HR related, he takes the lead on that, I sit in on that. Similarly, if there's like a marketing or a packaging or a creative or campaign or something like that, I take the lead on it, he's sitting. So I think while we have our, we know, we're aware of what my strengths are and his strengths are, but at the same time, I think I'm in on some of his meetings so that I can learn, he's in on some of my meetings so that we can learn. Eventually, we have to both feel comfortable that we're making the right decision.
Exactly.
Right. Just one last thing about 82 East, like what's the 2-year plan for the company?
Growth.
Oh, wow.
No, but like I think, as I said earlier, like expansion, focusing not only scaling the R&D facility, but also now thinking of launching 2 very new exciting categories soon, and that will continue. So one is expansion across products. Second is expansion across channels, as you asked earlier, offline and marketplaces and others. And third, also super interesting, and what we both are very excited about is more. While we ship globally from India, we want a more solid presence in other geographies as well. So that is something that we are really looking forward to over the next 2 years.
Great. And what does Brand Deepika stand for? I know that's like...
What does Brand Deepika stand for? I think that's a very... One is it's a very broad question.
Yeah.
2, I think it's very difficult to articulate, because I think Brand Deepika is more an emotion than a set of adjectives. I'm someone who feels more than actually being able to say. So I try and express, and then everything that I do is an extension, but also my way of expressing. So whether it's 82 East,
Okay.
Whether it's the Live Love Laugh Foundation, or whether it's my choice of films, all of these things somewhere are an extension of who I am, and I think that's what Brand Deepika is.
Lovely. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
chatting up with me. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you. Thanks.